My name is Victor Totolo. I'm from Samwu Amatole region. I'm with Lutando Juju from Samwu Amatole region.
As the regional leadership of Samwu at Amatole region, we are concerned and disturbed by the discontinued provision of water within the region, which is caused by the lack of leadership at Amatola Water Board. So as Samwu, we wish to issue this clarity to the residents in the Eastern Cape that are affected by the disruptions, the interruptions of water provision. The strike, the so-called strike, was never a strike, but rather a meeting point at a central venue, which is the head office at Amatola Water, head office in Vincent. Workers were there to seek clarity on two things, which is protection of workers in the workplace and also the protection of union leadership. This comes after the 17th of March 2025, wherein the leadership, the local leadership, submitted a motion of dispute of unfair labor practice. After acknowledgement from the employer, the union then, but the employer then opted, instead of engaging with the local leadership, opted to engage external forces that do not form part of the governing structure of that entity. The acting CE, to put it bluntly, went to the East London bosses, taxi bosses, to request that they deal with the union leaders, in particular, Comrade Victor Toto. This then didn't sit well with the union, especially the general membership. And they instructed Comrade Vic to open a case with the South African Police Service of intimidation by the acting CE. This then led them to reach the head office. And that is where they then met with the suspension of the 10 shop stewards and also the interdict, which was applied then by the acting CE against all the workers. We want to categorically put it clear that it is unacceptable that the issues of labor within an institution, issues of bread and butter, can be referred to taxi bosses for intervention. Because government has created spaces within workplaces, your LLFs, where labor disputes are supposed to be discussed and resolved. So we could not allow such, because that would also allow the organization to be captured by external people who are now going to be dictating terms in terms of what must happen within that institution regarding labor matters. In response to that grievance from the workers, we received those 10 suspensions of shop steward and the court interdict. We further, employees demanded that in the head office, the employer there must guarantee workers that they are protected. On Monday evening at 7 o'clock, we met with the team of led by the MEC Cocter, MEC Williams, who was then instructed by the Premier to come and intervene on this intricacy that is at Amatola Water. The meeting was at 7 o'clock. It transpired in that meeting that the employer at Amatola Water seems not to be aware about the grievances or the dispute that was declared by workers, and also the nature of the dispute, whether it is a dispute of right. But then that meeting also clarified that the board at Amatola Water is incapable of providing leadership in that institution. Because from the day that they applied the court interdict, the board has been sitting on the sidelines, claiming that they wanted management to do their work, and they also wanted to be on their lane, which seems to be a problem, because when there is a crisis and you are appointed as a board to provide leadership, the expectation is that you can't leave your house in fire and wait for a fire brigade to come and extinguish that fire. If there is a 10-liter of bucket of water, you will take that and throw it to the house so that you attempt to stop the fire. So the leadership there of the board, whether it's interim or not, is irrelevant. They should have provided leadership there and intervene so that people in the Eastern Cape may not suffer with water disruptions. It is in that context that we have requested this media so that we clarify the people of Eastern Cape that as workers in Amatola Water, we are not responsible for water interruptions. We are interdicted not to be at work as we speak. It is something that we are going to engage with the employer this afternoon, because the intervention meeting of the MEC gave the management of Amatola Water and the board 48 hours to resolve this matter. And it was only evening yesterday that we received a call or an SMS that requested a special LLF meeting, which we also, because we do not understand why it was delayed, because the meeting with the MEC was Monday night. So if the employer was interested in ensuring that services are restored immediately, that meeting, which is scheduled for 2 this afternoon, should have been scheduled in the morning yesterday, 9 to be exact. But it was only later in the evening that we were given this invitation by the employer of an extended LLF. And also another challenge that we experienced there was that they did not want to negotiate with the local leadership. And that alone, puzzles us, because there is no one who goes to court without a representative, or there is no representative that goes to court to represent someone who is absent in court. So ideally, when there are negotiations, those who are affected are supposed to be part of the negotiations. We will lead that delegation of negotiations, because now it is scheduled in virtually. We do not know why virtually. As we know, virtual meetings have challenges. It could be network, and that if they were serious about this engagement, it should have been physical. But we understand why they are making it virtual. It is because they don't want to uplift the suspensions of the 10 suspended shop stewards, which are supposed to be part of this special LLF. And secondly, they don't want to withdraw that court application of interdict. And strangely, because as a region of Amatola, who are not LLF members in Amatola Water, people who form part of the LLF are the local shop stewards there, the ones that are suspended. So the employer tried to be creative in trying to make this special LLF this afternoon to be virtual. I do not want to anticipate the outcomes of that meeting. However, we will wait and engage, because we requested that the whole negotiations must be led by a neutral body like your CCMA, so that that person can mediate. When tempers are up, that person can calm all of us down so that we can focus on the issues at hand. So, ladies and gentlemen, that is the nut and shell of the statement from ourselves as Samwu. Thank you very much.
Yeah, that's it, ladies and gentlemen. Now maybe it's time that we take clarification questions from yourselves. Yeah, I will.
Just Silvio from Bcmtv.
Okay.
Just to fumana, just to be clear to Nakum, is it as a strike sabasebenzi senziwa ngenxa yabasebenzi or masibeke in this way into zoba endlini uzoyibuza uba as a strike ingaba is it because of the taxi boss lena ibe involved because yonke lento revolve around yena ngenxa involvement yayo. So and abo basebenzi basuspendwe as steward suspendiweyo of which they are supposed uba zisivulela amanzi or zenze yonke le services elokishini. Now abanye abasebenzi they are in support of bona for abangakwazi uyosebenza or uyovala eza gaps.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. Thank you. Let me give you Nopala to respond.
Yeah, thank you very much for the question. No, the strike is not about the involvement of the taxi boss. The strike is about the dispute that was declared with the employer, which the employer acknowledged in writing that we have received this dispute. However, instead of engaging on the dispute, the employer now requested another person, an external person, to intimidate now workers around this dispute. Probably they anticipated that the matters that are raised in the dispute may lead to an action, you know. So they wanted to silence labor in other words. So those matters that are raised in the dispute are still pending. They are the matters that are going to be discussed this afternoon. The issue of a taxi boss person falls away because the issue at hand are the issues that were written to the employer to respond to. But instead of engaging internally, they decided now to call someone to say, no, ask this one to stop what they are doing. Yes.
Yeah, just to add, one of the things that led workers to go to the head office was they sought protection from intimidations because the acting CEO took the matter to the taxi boss. So the workers felt that they are not safe. They needed a guarantee from the authorities that the workplace is safe. Because remember, one of izinto ezikhoyo kule Labor Relations Act in terms of protection of abasebenzi, they talk of safety of the workers in the workplace. So it's all about protection of the workers. And also the intimidation itself, you know, the fact that the CEO will go to external people, you know, it's very clear that we've got leadership crisis because they acknowledge the receipt of a dispute party. The CEO resorted to intimidation tactics by seeking external intervention from external people, which what it is part that maybe we can say it's a trigger because if that didn't happen, meaning that the CEO kangayo report abasebenzi pha ku-taxi boss, maybe today we'll be not singing what we're singing. Maybe today we'll be still in that workplace working. But again, what was clear was that the CEO was preventing a strike because in terms of the discussion that happened between the taxi boss, the CEO, and the shop steward involved, was very clear that never ever again deal with try to join that institution without bringing your items to myself. So that was said in that meeting, and that is also concerning to the workforce that now it's very clear about Amatola Water is captured now. And also what becomes of the union. It means that the union is dead, because if the union is going to be told to take their matters with the taxi rank, then there's a challenge. So it is a trigger in a way. But the dispute itself was going to lead to a strike if the employer was not willing to listen to the workers. Because remember, Labor Relations Act is very clear in terms of refusing to bargain. Because this is not employer bargaining in bad faith, it's employer refusing to bargain by resorting to these now tactics of intimidating the union leadership. So that's basically the reason why the workers today feel that they are not safe in the workplace. Secondly, the suspension itself. The suspension also is a trigger because remember, when you suspend all the shop stewards, automatically you are saying that that union is gone, is dead. Because who is going to represent the workers when they are dealing with their when their issues of present matter have to be addressed? So another trigger is the suspension of the workers. And the last one, the interdict against the workers and the lockout, all those things. It's a direct indication that employer wanted to silence everyone in the workplace by resorting to these tactics of instilling fear among the workers. Because remember, when now you are saying that, look, if you are in support of your leadership, the union leadership, that they have to be suspended. Now I'm dealing with you. So there's no one now to actually go to work and purify water so that water can be dispensed to the residents of the province. Because people are outside the workplace, the leadership is suspended. So those are the three triggers that we can say are the cause of this situation. But all of them, we ascribe them to leadership crisis at Amatola Water. Yeah. Any question?
Yes.
Yeah.
How safe are you? And number 2 will be the service, the restoration. Is it the meeting at 2 o'clock of today? If I materialize Abantu, they will still have interruptions on the services.
Yeah. Let's start with the issue of safety. Yeah. That one came to our attention immediately. Hence, the union instructed that the affected shopkeeper must go to the police and open the case. There is a case that has been opened, against the CEO, because we don't know now what will be the next step of the CEO of Amatola Water. Because if initially she went to the taxi bosses and also to ask the bosses to deal with the leadership of the union. We don't know now if that is not happening, what she's going to do. Maybe she's going to go to someone else now, maybe to Inkadi, and ask the same. So really, the shopkeepers they do feel threatened. And what they were expecting that employer can protect them. That's why the workers went there. Employers went there for protection, but instead, employer ridiculed everything. In the meeting that was held with the MEC, the board chairperson made it very clear that look, the shopkeeper concerned should have ignored the call when he was called by the taxi boss, and that call was not a nice call. It was not a call that it was not an invitation that, hey, we are inviting him to a meeting. No, it was a call, not one, many calls. Shopkeepers harassed to a meeting, and the board chairperson downplayed by saying that he should have chosen not to entertain the call. But how can you not entertain the call when you are called by someone that is not part of the structure of the entity, that is outside, and we are told very clearly that if you don't come, there will be consequences. So that was a kind of atmosphere, and that's why the union leadership involved felt that no, this must be reported. He first reported it to the union itself, and then the union advised him to open a case. But then, of course, the shopkeepers do feel threatened. Even now, when the shopkeepers are going around, they feel like someone is following them, even if there's no one following them. So it's fear everywhere. Then coming to the second part of your question, can you come again?
Restoration of services.
Yes. As the trade union, we are determined to give water services to the people of the province, to a point that not all of our members are here, because we told those ones that they must remain behind so that they can ensure that water is being pumped to the residents of the province. But the fact of the matter, the majority is here, so that is going to have effect. But and this is what we told even the Premier when we had interaction with the Premier. As much as we feel threatened, we even said that CEO Yika Premier, and as much as we said to the Premier, but we're going to make sure that abantu basephondweni abasokulimanzi. Then that one, and that's what we are trying to do. But unfortunately, you will recall that even before the strike, there had been always water challenges, due to aging infrastructure, etc. So the issue of water is a crisis. So now it's even worse when there are few people that are not pumping water. Then there's a challenge. So we didn't even want that to happen. Hence, we declared a dispute, and our dispute is a dispute of unfair labor practices. There's been agreements that have not been honored by employer, meaning that was giving a right to strike from the word go, But no, we felt that let's give them a ultimatum, like giving them 72 hours to come and engage, and they responded, and they promised to do that. But what they did instead, they went outside to seek other help from other people that do not form part of the structures of Amatola, or even of the shareholder, which is Department of Water and Sanitation. So that is the challenge. But we are hoping that in this afternoon there will be a meeting of minds, so that at least water is being pumped and there are no water interruptions after all. So that is our prayer that sanity prevails this afternoon.
Yeah, we are hoping that we will reach an agreement this afternoon, depending what the employer is putting on the table. Of course, we can't get everything we want in negotiations, but at least there should be some sense of commitment from the side of the employer to say we can resolve this one we are going to process. It will be probably take 2 to 3 months, but those that we would not compromise on is the issue of suspending the 10 shop stewards, all of them without following due process. Because when you suspend a shop steward, Schedule 8 of Labor Relations Act says you must inform the union. The only letter I got was on the 22nd was the one that was intending to suspend Victor Toto. That was the only letter. And that meeting was scheduled for this past Monday at 9 o'clock. And it never said, because after that letter, all 9 other shop stewards were suspended without following the due process. Because I should have received all 9 letters intending to charge those shop stewards. And the question which the management is still failing to answer is to what are the charges against these shop stewards? They failed to provide that answer from the engagement with the MEC. They don't know why they suspended the 10 shop stewards.